So I was reading an article in realtor.com talking about what myths are hurting home buyers and sellers in the market today. One myth being we're going to be a housing crash just like it was in 2008. And then another one was like, sellers have such great interest rates, they'll never sell their homes. Well, I'm going to be either debunking those myths or actually maybe corroborating them. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Patrick Donovan, XP Realty, part of the Johnson Group here in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. And today, like I said, I'm going to be going over an article I read on realtor.com titled Stop Believing 4 Housing Market Myths Hurting Today's Buyers and Sellers. Now, I'm going to tell you, they call these all myths, but there's some that I would probably corroborate that they're not actually myths, they're actually true. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, we're going to be talking about the housing statistics for the 3 hottest markets in our area, Savannah, Pooler, and Richmond Hill. And if you get any value from this video, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, share this video with your family and friends. Maybe you're looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe they just want to be informed about the housing market in our area. But let's just get into this article, okay? So, stop believing 4 housing market myths hurting today's buyers and sellers. And the first one, this is the one that catches the headlines, right? The housing market is going to crash just like it did in 2008. Now, this isn't really, if you are not familiar with what happened in 2008, I would suggest that you read the book, The Big Short. Fantastic book, okay? They did a movie about it. I don't think the movie did such a good job about explaining what happened, but the book, phenomenal. Back then, there was I'm just going to kind of summarize it really quick, but there was predatory lending practices, getting potential home buyers who couldn't afford to buy a home. Actually, I would say, so not potential home buyers, but getting people that can't really afford to buy a home into adjustable rate loans, right? Introductory as low as 1%, maybe even less, principal only loans, stuff like that. And then selling those loans off on the secondary market to mortgage-backed securities, okay? And then by the time the mortgage adjusted, the buyers could not afford to pay for their homes anymore, causing foreclosures, flooding the market with cheap and easy homes. And I hear that from buyers when I'm talking to them. Well, I'm just going to wait till the market crashes because there's no way that the housing market prices go up that fast that it's going to stay like this. It's probably going to crash. I'm going to catch it on the downswing, sweep up one of those great deals on the market because the housing market is unsustainable. Now, I agree with you. The housing market prices going up so fast does seem unsustainable. And at some point, it's got to stop, right? At some point, it's going to level out, I assume. But the housing market crash, I just don't see, because we have a very, very different problem. Back then, flooded with foreclosure houses, right? People losing their jobs because of the recession. So other foreclosures, not just due to subprime lending, put a lot of houses out there for people to buy. That's not the case right now. As a matter of fact, we got quite the opposite problem right now. Right now, we just don't have enough inventory. And I'll show it to you in the numbers when we go through the stats. But we're sitting at pretty much 50% of what the market was as far as inventory is concerned in 2018 when I started to now. We are half the inventory. So there's no way there's going to be a ton of foreclosures on the market because most home owners right now have 50% equity in their homes. So it's not going to be possible to get a steal in the market right now because most, if somebody lost their job and they had to sell, it wouldn't be at foreclosure. They just sell it at market price. So I would say this myth that the housing market is about to crash like 2008 is absolutely busted, false, not true. So that one, no good. All right, here we go. The second myth they talk about. Owners have such good rates, they will never sell. Now this one, on the other hand, I think this myth is not really a myth. This is actually kind of true. And I'm speaking for our area. When I'm talking about the Savannah area, I'm talking about, from Hinesville, to Savannah, Richmond Hill, Guyton, Rincon, Tybee, all our surrounding area. This is probably true. You got to think about it. When they bought their home, or when most people bought their homes during the rates that were very low, most Americans, 90% I believe, have interest rates lower than what is on the market today. And today's interest rates, and I got this from Mortgage News Daily, the 30-year fix is 6.58. The FHA is 6.15, and the VA is 6.17, right? And if someone bought their home, think about this. If I was thinking to move up, for instance, right? I wanted my move up home. Maybe I'm in my second home. I want to get to my third home, or maybe I'm in my first home and I want to go to my second home. I want to go from a starter home to my move up home, right? But they have a 2.75% interest rate, right? Now maybe, so say if they bought the home at $350,000, right? A 2.75% interest rate, okay? And they want to sell the home and go buy their next home. Maybe it's a $500,000 or $500,000, maybe $600,000 home, right? Well, they could probably put their house on the market, depending on how long they've had it for, probably for $100,000 more than they bought it. Well, they can put that into buying their next home and bring the purchase price down. But what are they going to do about that difference in interest rate? You're talking about almost more than 3% interest rate change. Makes it very difficult for people that have those rates to sell their home. I mean, it's very difficult to bite that bullet, even to step up. They say, well, you know what? I'm just going to wait a little bit to make sure that the rates come down a little bit closer so I'm not taking such a huge chunk. But you also have to remember, we live in a very transient community. A lot of military here. You're talking about, we have 15,000 military that's here, active duty. And then you got their families of 16,000. Then you got the contractors. How many contractors? 4,000 DOD civilians, 1,200 contractors, okay, and they are moving. You're talking about just in the active duty, they move every 3 years. So you're talking about they're going to be moving every 3 years. So that's 5,000 families moving every 3 years. So there's houses available. And then also other people move for jobs and things like that. So there's houses on the market. But of course, the inventory is way depressed. So yes, I would say that this myth is actually not a myth. This is true. It is harder to find houses out there, which is keep causing the house prices to rise. So this myth is not a myth. This is true. Owners have such good rates, they are staying put. And you see it in the numbers. And I'm going to show you that when we go through the numbers of the 3 hottest markets in our area. The next myth, as rates rise, home prices will drop. That would be simple terms that you would think. That'd be intuitive, right? If the cost of buying a home goes up because interest rates are up, you would think that the home prices would come down. But once again, it comes back to that inventory level, right? When I came into the real estate, became a real estate agent in 2018, okay? It was more of a neutral market, I would say. Compared to what we have now, it's totally different, okay? There was twice as many homes on the market, okay? There was haggling and negotiating. Buyers would routinely get home warranties, routinely be able to negotiate closing costs. Recently it's kind of turning more that way as the market starts to stall. But previously, 5, 6, 10, 12 offers on a house as soon as it hits the market. But now, as it starts to, the buyers are not biting anymore over these high prices, and they're starting to lay back. You'll start to see negotiating again. But This is definitely false. As the rates rose, the prices of homes just rose as well. So you see that in numbers, and like I said, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'll refer back to this part when we go through the numbers about inventory. But yeah, inventory is way depressed. As soon as those inventory rises more, then they'll give more. Maybe it will pull those prices down. But I'll tell you, if you are looking to buy, right, sellers are starting to get nervous. Their homes are on the market longer than they're used to. Back in the day, home on the market one day, contract the next day, boom. You know what I'm saying? Now sellers are like, my home's been on the market for 20 days. What is going on? They're starting to panic a little bit, and they're starting to concede. So maybe now's the time for your buyer. Give me a call. We can talk about your options. But there's also, and I don't want you to leave until we get to this, but there's special interest rates going on in new construction to 3.99%. I'm going to tell you about later. Don't want to leave until you hear about this, because it's finally cracking under 4%. This could be that time for your move up buyer to actually move up. So stay tuned for that. But I would say that myth is totally a myth. That is not true. As the rates rise, the home prices did not drop. And then the last myth that this article talks about is good credit buyers are subsidizing buyers with bad credit. There was an article, I think it was a year and a half ago, something like that, where the Wall Street Journal had put out an article saying that people with good credit have got to pay fees for people with bad credit that don't have to pay these fees. Good credit people are paying for bad credit people and all this stuff. And it was a big uproar, went into Congress, everybody's mad. But they just didn't read the fine print and what is actually going on. It had nothing to do with credit. Okay, Fannie and Freddie Mac, government-sponsored enterprises. Their mission is to make home affordability easier for first-time home buyers. Okay, and it was to make more accessible. It had nothing to do with their credit. It has to do with being a first-time home buyer and getting into the market. As a matter of fact, me and Christina, in our last video that I did, talked about these 7 pathways to home ownership. One of those pathways was exactly what we're talking about here. What actually happened was the FHA loans require an upfront PMI payment of 1.75. And then PMI after that, which is mortgage insurance, which doesn't help the buyer. It helps the lender to insure the loan if the buyer defaults. Well, they eliminated that for this pathway loan and for first-time home buyers. That was the fee that everybody was in an uproar about. And you can, if you're a first-time home buyer or you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you qualify for this, regardless of whether or not your credit is high or low. You qualify to get those fees waived if you go through this pathway loan, which, like I said, watch the video at the end. It's going to show you exactly how to do that, or give you information to call Christina Boyette, who can definitely help you out with that. So this is another myth that I don't know how this came into existence. People getting in an uproar about, how poor people or people with better off are paying for poorer people. This is a total myth. So I thought the article was interesting. I didn't think all of them were myths. Obviously, most of them were, but not all of them. So it's a good article. I'm going to link all that down below. But now let's get into stats for Savannah, Pooler, and Richmond Hill. Now, we're going to go over the stats. We're going to talk about the average sales price and median sales price. The good thing about me showing you through the InfoSparks portal right here is that I can actually show you the median home sales prices and the average, just so you can kind of get an idea. Whatever number you like better, up to you. But I just want to give you guys the ability to see that. So I think it's pretty cool that I get to do that. But also, I need you to bear with me. I have some stomach issues, gas issues. So if I burp or something like that, I'm trying to get it fixed through the doctor. It's been an arduous, painful process, but we're going to get there. It's not going to stop me from doing my videos. So we're going to keep doing them. Just bear with me. If I belch or something like, please forgive me. Okay. But here we go. So now we're going to talk about the sales price. And I'm just going to go through, actually, typically I do all 3 of them all at the same time, but I'm actually going to run through all Savannah's numbers, all of Pooler's numbers, and all of Richmond Hill's numbers separately. so that you can kind of see it here on the chart, which I love. InfoSparks is great, man. It just really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that's going on in the market. That's why I love looking at it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start out with the median sales price. So last year, July, we only got it for 1 year. Okay, I'm actually going to change the view on this to 5 years, so I can, because there's going to be the inventories part I was talking to you about during the myth stuff, which the 5 years will actually give you a better. Actually, I'm just going to max it out. Let's go max. I think that gives us out to 2017. Yeah, 2017. So, all right. So last year, 2023, in July, the median home sales price for Savannah, Georgia, was $331,024. This year, $365, up by 10%. Okay, and that's the median. Now let's go to the average. Now you see here, which is, keep in mind here, ready? 331 and 365. Okay, watch when we go to the average. It's gonna blow your mind. Blow your mind. Well, it blew my mind. Excuse me. The average home sales price in Savannah, $463,000, $244 last year. This year, $511,088, up by 10% still. So the difference between the median and the average, if you don't know, median is going to take all the numbers going on in Savannah and then pull that middle number. Okay. In the average, it takes them all and then averages them. So that's the difference. Okay. So now we're going to go with new listings on the market. Okay. New listings. As of last year, July, there was 426 new listings that came to the market. This year, 460. So more new listings come to the market, up by 8%. All right, now homes for sale. This is interesting, and this is what I was talking about, the inventory, right? So last year, I would say 2018, July, because that's when I came into real estate. There was 1,925 homes on the market in Savannah. Now is only 1,144. You see the big difference right there? And if you go further back, it was even higher than that. So we're almost half the amount of homes on the market that there was. Okay, but if you want to look at last year in July, was 792. This year is 1,144, up by 44%. We're going to talk about why the homes for sale are rising here in a second. So let's talk about closed sales in Savannah. All right, the closed sales in Savannah last year was 307. This year, 281. So down by almost 9%. Okay. Now, days on the market. This is where we're going to talk about how the closed sales going down, the homes for sale going up, and here's the reason why. Days on market last year in July was 29 days on the market, and this is the median. This year, 41 days on the market, up by 41%. Days on market, up by 41%. When you look at the average days, and this is all, like I said, we already talked about that number. I'm not going to get into it. So last year was 44 days average. This year, 52 days average. So if you're selling a home in Savannah, this is actually, when I was selling, like here, look at the days on market when I came in July. Hold on, it's July. When I came into real estate, the days on market was 96 days. So if you sold a home as a real estate agent in 52 days, everybody's like, man, that guy's a rock star. Holy cow. How did he pull that off? You probably had a great listing. Maybe the seller listened to him. They priced it right. Wow, right? But now when you say 52 days to people, they're like, what is happening? After the 20th day, they don't get an offer. Sellers are starting to get a little shaky. Back in the day, that was normal. You'd be on the market for 2 months, and you haven't got an offer, or maybe you haven't secured one yet. So, it's all relative to with the times that you're living. But as you see here, days on market are creeping up 52 days. So if you're in Savannah and you have a house on the market and you're worried, look at the average days on market that's going on right now, 52 days. So if you have been on the market for 2 or 3 weeks and you haven't heard anything yet, just know the market has shifted a little bit. Your house is going to be on the market for a little bit longer. Now let's go price per square foot. All right, another indicator of price. Okay, so last year in July it was $210 per square foot in Savannah. There's the median. This year, 228, up by almost 9%. Then we're going to do the average just for fun, 227, and then last year, and then 249, up by 10%. So the average and the prices are just going up. Days on market's going up. Closed sales going down. So you got to understand, your home's going to sit on the market a little bit longer if you're selling your home in Savannah, and it's also almost the same in the other markets as well. In every market, in Pooler, days on market up by 33%. In Richmond Hill, up by 13%. So that's going to bear out in the numbers. So let's do Pooler next. Pooler. And remember, the price per square foot number is your estimate. So if you are looking to get a roundabout number where your house sits against the market, take that number, multiply it by your square footage. All right, here we go. Now we're going to Pooler. We're going to go median first. Excuse me. All right, last year in July, 379,500. This year, 361,000. Down by almost 5%. Interesting. Let's check the average out. Average July. Average was 405,669. This year, 402,123. Down barely. A little bit. Poquito. All right, now new listings. Last year in July, 73 new listings on the market. This year, 76, up by 4%. All right, homes for sale. Okay, there's that number I was telling you about. It's depressed. Last year, there was 141 on the market. This year, 201. Like I said, it's sitting a little bit longer. As you add new listings on homes that are already on the market, it keeps getting more and more on the market, okay? Closed sales. Last year, July, 96. This year, 87. Down. All right, days on market. Let's see where we're at on that one. July, 50 days on market. This is we did the See, I wanted to use the median first. Gotta give the shock factor. It's too late. All right, here we go. Last year, in July, 33 days on the market. This year, 44 days on the market. Average, let's see what that is. Average last year, it was 50 days on the market. This year, average 58 days on the market. So once again, taking longer to sell in Pooler than it used to. So be aware of the days on market. It's not abnormal to sit almost 2 months now, okay? All right, price per square foot in, we're going to go with the median. In Pooler, July last year's 187. This year, 191, up by 2%. The average is 190, and this year's 197, okay? All right, now let's do some Richmond Hill action. Richmond Hill. And if you guys want to see other markets in our area, such as Rincon or Guyton or Port Whitworth or any of these other areas, Tybee maybe, if that's what you guys want, comment down below. Let me know what you want to see. I can pull the numbers just like you can pull, any other numbers. I can pull them all right here. If you want to see Brunswick, I can do that if you want to. Please don't do Brunswick. I don't cover that area. Okay, I can refer you people down there, but I'm not going down there. All right, so here we go. Though, I would say if you haven't been to Brunswick, St. Simon's Island, fantastic place. You got to go down there. If you live in the area, you haven't been to St. Simon's, great seafood. It's awesome. All right, let's go with the median home sales prices. Last year in Richmond Hill, we had a 406,595. This year, 429,245. Prices are up by almost 6%. If you go average price, okay, which in Richmond Hill, it's kind of almost the same. It's strange, right? But it's nearly the same. There's some shocking numbers when you go to the other, but here, not as shocking because it's been pretty consistent. So July last year is 473,048. This year, 339,255, down by 7%. All right. Now, new listings. Okay, July. Last year was 84 new listings. This year, 94 new listings, up by almost 12%. Okay, and then homes for sale. Now, last year in July, there was 214 homes for sale in Richmond Hill. This year, 305 homes for sale, up by almost 43%. Okay. Closed homes, closed sales, July. Last year, closed sales 111. This year, 88, down by almost 21%. All right. And that's, like I said, that's all feeding the same narrative. Every market is almost feeding the same narrative. So as you can see, when I was talking about Savannah and Pooler, also apply to Richmond Hill. Okay. Days on market, you will see. Okay. July last year, 31 days on the market. Median this year, 35, up by almost 13%. The average last year was 55. This year, 47, so actually down by almost 15%. But 47 days still on the market. That's a lot longer than people are used to. So if you are used to your homes going quick, right? If you're still in that mindset when you're about to list your home, you could be putting yourself in a bad headspace, I think. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times people have this expectation, right, that, oh, the house is going to sell quick. But when we're looking at these averages, you got to pay attention to it. You can't think, my house is different. It's going to sell fast. Don't put yourself in that headspace. Be prepared. This is really why I do what I do. To get you informed before you either buy or sell so you understand what's happening. I don't want you to go out there blind. I don't want you to go out there thinking, oh, my house is going to sell in 2 days when the average is saying otherwise. I just want you to be informed, and that's why I do this. I'm hoping that I give you guys a ton of value when I do this, okay? And if not, if there's anything else you guys want to see stuff numbers-wise, just let me know. I'm here to help as much as possible, okay? Price per square foot, let's do it, okay? In July, there's $183 per square foot. Here's the estimate number. That was last year. This year, $198, up by 8%. And we'll go to the average, $198. Okay, yeah, okay, nice. Last year, $200 per square foot. This year, $202, average, up by 1%. So those are the housing stats for the area. But I don't want to forget to tell you about the 3.99% interest rate that D.R. Horton is given in Woodland Trail, which is in Richmond Hill. They've got, I think, 12 more homes left till they close out the community completely. So they're giving out 3.99%. Whew, what a great deal. If the homes can close by September, all of them in Richmond Hill can close before September. They're ready to rock and roll. And then they got some in Cobblestone Village, which is a new community out in the Bloomingdale area. It's right up 204. It's by the Palm. It's a great location. They're also giving a 3.99% interest rate. So if you're interested in getting into your move-up home like we had talked about, looking for that interest rate that's below 4, now is your opportunity to get it, and give me a call. If you have a question about those, give me a call at 912-657-3544. And then I'd love to get you in touch with one of their representatives, get you qualified, and get you in a home. So if you're looking for it, let me know. Also, once again, if you got any value from this, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, share this with your family and friends. And I really appreciate it. If you're watching this video at this point, I love you so much. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason why I keep coming back and doing this. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.